So we have David, right? He was walking down the aisle, and this song goes on, and everybody was like, "Ah, the Rocket Man!" And it was an amazing conference, and this is an amazing conference. You guys believe? Yeah, oh yeah. We got the best speakers in the world. We're here in Destin, Florida. Beautiful. We're going to have a beach party later. Oh, yeah. So, what we want to concentrate is the past and present military lifestyle. The past, hey, I'm not saying that you're...
I am.
So, I just retired a year and a half ago. He's been retired for almost 30, 40?
40 years.
40 years from the military. And things change, but sometimes they kind of stay the same, right?
They do.
They kind of stay the same because in this time that we're living of disclosure, we're figuring out that the things that he worked on are the things that we're using. And we're like, how can that be? Who invented these things? Who invented these Velcro? Who invented diapers? So it's beautiful when you have people like David that have worked on these things that we still use in the military. We still use these things when we go on missions. We have these helmets that have AGI, Artificial General Intelligence, that when we went to visit the moon or other moons in our solar system that I saw and other soldiers experienced, it's technology that I'm sure, David, that you guys had already, because what was it? The NASA, let me see if NASA had a program, right, that they were already going to the moon. Okay, let me see if I can put it up real quick. I wish I could have had it there, but let me see if I have it here real quick. It's called, you're going to be familiar with this, Horizon.
Yeah.
The Horizon program. What can you tell me about the Horizon programs, and if you ever experienced or have, worked on creating these bases on the moon or that are in the moon cavities of the ancient volcanic tubes of creating bases in the moon, because that's what we were thinking. That's what they were thinking of doing. That's what they did do, and they kind of like stopped doing it.
Yeah.
So what can you tell me, David, about like a little bit of the caverns of the moon?
Well, the first thing I told him was, you say you're going up there and you're going to live on the moon. Have you ever went around to the back door and knocked and asked if you can do that? And they went, "What are you talking about?" I said, "For God's sake, we left 144 tons of garbage on the moon. Old spacecrafts, lunar modules, 96 bags of feces. Astronauts had to dump it somewhere, so they dumped it on the moon. So how would you like to be living in your house? Something lands on your roof, dumps 96 bags of shit on you, and then leave about 100 tons of junk, and then proclaim, 'We're coming back here to live.'" I'd be sitting there going, I'd get out of my chair and going, "I don't think so." So you go out there and you tell them, "So you like our place? Good. Collect some rocks, grab some moon dust, go back to your planet, and don't ever come back here again. You're a bunch of damn pigs."
Yeah.
And so I told him, see, I knew I didn't just know Neil. I grew up with Neil Armstrong. I have a book at home that was a gift from his mother, Viola, on my 18th birthday for graduation. So with him, I don't hearsay. I know I was standing there. And I just couldn't understand Neil and Buzz, and Michael Collin was a little bit indifferent. He was a command module pilot. He stayed up in the spacecraft in orbit. But Neil and Buzz, they were the first two men to step foot on the moon. And I said, what is it with you guys? You ought to be so damn happy I have to pull you down off the ceiling. Instead, you all look so damn depressed. I just don't understand it. You look sad and depressed, and you, out of 8 billion people, you two get picked. I mean, talk about lucky SOBs, God almighty. And yet you sit around, you got faces long enough to trip over. And I said, what the hell happened up there? And Neil turned to me, who never lied to me, and he just said, more than you ever want to know, David. And I'm going, yo, God, what, they threaten you with your pension? Or because they loved doing that back then. If you got out of line in your career, first thing they would say is, well, how's life going to be without your pension? It's going to be tough because we have nothing to live on. Everything's designed on the pension. That's why I became independently wealthy. It doesn't matter to me. I don't give a damn. Take the pension. I don't care. And they're going, oh, that's a different attitude.
That's interesting that you say that, because something similar happened to Buzz when he went to Antarctica.
Yeah.
And like he says it. He said something happened to his heart or frequency that when he visited Antarctica, the whole team got nervous because he got so sick that he saw something so weird in Antarctica that is probably something similar of what they saw in the moon, the reason why he was feeling sick.
I think so.
And they had to bring him back from Antarctica. So Neil Armstrong was in the moon, and Buzz was in Antarctica. And I heard, and when I worked in Louisiana for NASA, you go around talking with people and all that. They found ruins.
Yeah.
In the far side of the moon that was connected with volcanic tubes that goes really deep inside the moon.
Yeah, and when I started everything, they said, we noticed you have no friends. They're all gone. Conspiracy. No. Old age. Yeah. I was like 12, 13 years old. Everybody else was in their 40s and 50s, which means as they got on, when I became in my 40s or 50s, hell, they had to be over 110 years old. So they just killed overs while they did. And
we're talking about 1959 that they started this Project Horizon about going to the moon. 59. May 30th, 1959. If you look it up, it's Project Horizon. And they scrubbed it because of financial issues and because of the Cold War, right?
Right. It's unpopular.
And I think when John F. Kennedy said, and we'll go to the moon, and we'll spread out the word of, humanity. So I think they kept going with this project. And in the things that I saw, David, I could tell you that we probably now, that's what we like talking about, the past and present. Because I think right now we have soldiers that are working in armadas in different parts of our oceans and in space. And I salute those soldiers that are doing this beautiful job, spreading the truth. Right now, I think with the fifth batch that is going to come out with these videos and all that, hopefully this information comes out about the soldiers using the technology that he did?
Yeah, that was, my primary job back then was I would take space-age technology, look at it, and redesign it to commercial applications. An example is better than an explanation. You got 3 astronauts in a command module. It's not much bigger than a walk-in closet. And there's 3 days out and 3 days back and 2 days on the moon. So that's 8 days. And people are eating and drinking. Something's got to give, y'all. And everything floats. That's a problem. So the astronaut said, you better address this problem before we get there because it's going to be a hell of a mess. And I said, yes, it will be. So I tell you what we'll do. I went down to development labs. We made a material that could absorb nasty stuff and hold it to the material. And you could live with it till you get to in the back of the spacecraft where you could change out. And it worked out just fine. So I look at that and I go, hey, you know what that is? You know what? So I called Johnson & Johnson, and we produce billions of disposable diapers. I get 1 penny per diaper. Don't sound like much, but it adds up, believe me. Them little critters are busy out there. And
A lot of diapers.
yeah, a lot of diapers. So that was one of my first structures, which worked out really well. And so there was a lot more things coming out of the space program other than Tang, which that stuff tasted like crap. It was awful. It was a powder to mix it.
Is it similar to MREs?
MREs are far better.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. And that's interesting. I remember days when we had no MREs. We ate crackers from World War II, and they were called hardtack. And God almighty, you could eat a piece of cardboard easier.
So when we go training right now, in these days,
Yeah, and you got...
they give us a box of MREs, and each one has a different flavor.
Hey,
We got chicken flavor, we got soup flavor, and you could choose, and then we trade it with the guys. Hey, can I get your Skittles? Nah, man, I'm not giving away my Skittles. We want to keep the sugar to keep, running, to keep the energy up. And it's funny that in your days, you didn't have no Skittles.
hell no. You spoiled thing, God almighty. We ate cardboard and water. That's about it. And it was awful. But that was also back in my days, you never mentioned the word UFO, extraterrestrial. These were banned words you were not allowed to mention. If you're in uniform, you can't mention them. Here comes the book, and you get tickets. And you get enough tickets, you go to...
You go to S6, and then you see a psychiatrist.
Yeah. It is... Hell, I've been threatened with the brig so many times I can't count. Because I'd say words, I said, UFO. What? He didn't say that. Yeah, he did. And there was no talk about aliens or any other stuff. Y'all have it easy today, God almighty.
But now, even today, David, we have it in Congress now. And they're saying it all over the news.
Oh, yeah.
In Fox News, we have 4 different species that are living among us. We got interdimensional beings that can come out of nowhere with different frequencies. And I'm sure Pithalum was like that. Depending on different frequencies,
She
come.
Yeah, man, she's so... I was in an argument with her once. I said, you're so far out there, you're coming back. And she said, how dare you? I said, well, I'm not the one from a galaxy that's just been found by the Woods telescope. the galaxy on the left of a dual picture, you say that's your home. You were all bent out of shape that the guy that runs the Woods Telescope named it after his daughter. And she goes, that's not its name. Well, I know its name now because you've been bitching about it so much. But and then I asked her, I said, you know, you're about the closest being next to my life. You're in me all the time, which causes close proximity to all kinds of things. So anyway, I asked her, I said, how old are you? She goes, I'm 13 and a half. And I go, oh, wait a minute, I'm not a pedophile. I ain't been jumping on no 13-year-old. She goes, I'm 13 and a half billions with a B years old, your years. And I'm going, and then she said, right after that, she said, wait till you meet my parents. How old are your parents? What were they doing, working on the Big Bang? And she said, oh, how perceptive. Yeah, you're right. They were helping out with the Big Bang. That's the beginning of the universe, y'all. That's 14 billion years ago. And I said, God almighty. And she says, wait till my mom meets you. Oh, I can't wait. She said, she's got some surprises for you. Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. You've been in me for 54 years. When they come here and pick you up, which they seem to be slow doing it. And then that's when she reminded me in a real cold way. She said, David, not everything in the universe runs on a Julius Caesar calendar. And you know what the hardest thing they have to do out there is try to explain to other alien beings that there are creatures on this planet that live on a chronological timeline. They said there is no such thing, a linear chronological timeline. That's chronological, 15, 16, 17, 18. They said there is nothing that lives like that. And I'm thinking, God, we don't know any other damn way but to live like that. And they see out there, it's different. In their time, it's past, present, and future all at once. We're stuck in the fourth dimension. We can't move in time. H.G. Wells was the first to think about it, and he made the time machine. And, hell with this, I'm going to jump around. I'll have to use my own time machine, but at least I can move. And that's a fascinating concept. So see, we weren't allowed to think about that. There was so much we were not allowed to think about or say that you just do every day. I sit here and I go, God almighty, if he was in my military, he'd be buried.
I think I would. I think because I've heard story. My grandpa, my uncle, they were in the military as well, and I think you guys were treated more different, like pow pow.
Oh yeah.
Like I remember a story that you told us right one day about when you were flying the jet, and the commander was telling you not to do something and you did it. Can you tell us a little bit about that experience? I think this is when you were training.
Oh yeah.
To be a jet pilot.
Yeah, it was. Oh God. Well, first of all, I'm in the Navy. In Navy, we do things different than the Air Force. First of all, the separation between officers and enlisted is extreme. I wanted to go play football. Hell, I was mid-Buckeye Conference. I was all-state. And I was watching them across the street, the officers play football, and they were pitiful. And I thought, damn, I could help them. So I went across the street, took off clothes down to my T-shirt and my underwear, and come out on the field, and I said, hey, can I help you guys? And I said, see, I'm an enlisted man. I just entered the officer's field. And oh man, you go to jail for that stuff. Yeah. They do. They'll arrest you and cart you away in handcuffs.
Stolen valor, right?
Oh yeah. They like you're less than human, and I'm sitting there going, I'll show these people what less than human is. And I said, I noticed when the backfield is dropping back, everybody's covering each other because y'all went to college together. Y'all know each other, yeah? Run me on a post pattern, send me straight out into the center of the end zone, and let me squat down and turn around. And you hit me in my letters with a football. And the quarterback saying, you're kidding. No, I'm dead serious. It'll work. So I take off on a post pattern, cut in, turn around. There's the football. 6 points. And everybody's looking at each other going, I thought you were covering him. I thought you were covering him. Well, who's covering him? Nobody, because they don't know me. So I told them, I said, I got back in the huddle and I said, this time let me quarterback. And so instead of throwing to somebody I know, I looked for a guy that was he was so far out there. He had probably, dust on him. And I threw the ball to him. We scored again. So the guy that was my quarterback, he's also the base commander. If he finds out who I am, I'm going to jail. Just that quick. And,
how did you get out of this, David?
Well, I thought I was okay. I was walking off the field, and then I hear, hey, you. I turn around, it's him, and he goes, I don't recognize you. Oh, boy, here we go. And he goes, who are you with? And I said, I'm with VAW 120 over across the street. And he goes, oh, you must be the new qualified instructors, pilots. And I didn't want to tell him, no, I'm just a little enlisted man that's learning how to build a jet. And he said, he's looking at me, he goes, this is a crazy question. You're not enlisted, are you? Yes, sir, I am. And he's looking at me like, you're going to go to jail. But then he asked one other question. He said, how do you play football like that? You didn't go to college. I was mid-state. I was mid-conference Buckeye. You can find my name in the French field house at Ohio State University. I was a quarterback. I was a left-handed quarterback. You don't think that's a mess? Have a left-handed quarterback walk out onto a field. Everybody, instead of running over here, they're all running over here because I throw different. And he said, you seem to know a lot about flying. Yes, I do.
The dusters.
Yeah, so the commander says, our pilots have 300 or 400 hours. How many of you got? 4,000. What? 4,000. How did you get so many hours? I was a crop duster. I was a crop duster when I was 14 years old. I learned to fly before I could drive a car. And
I'm the rocket man.
So I come into a field. I drop over the trees, go down. I'm 32 inches off the ground because you can't have air come between you and the 7 dust. So I'm getting those boll weevils off of the soy plants. Then I come up on the power lines and I got to fly straight up and I'm looking between my feet. And then I level out. And he looked at me, he says, we call that strafing. What do you call it? Crop dusting. And
where they got the idea, huh?
He said, I'm going to get in trouble. I'm already in trouble. He says, I'm going to put you in the jet across the street you guys are working on. What jet do you prefer? I said, the A4 Skyhawk I just learned. It's a World War II jet. It's old. So we got in that thing. He got in the back seat, and he said, all right, you're the pilot. Let's go. So we take off, and I said, can you give me a direction? I don't know where the target field is. And he said, set your ADF on 210. And I did. And we get up to the bombing field. And he said, can you hit one of those targets out there? And it must have sounded like I was arrogant, but I wasn't. I turned around, tried to see his face, and I said, what part of the target do you want me to hit? And he sits back in his chair. He goes, oh, geez, dead center if it's not too much trouble.
Dead center?
Yeah. So I said, okay, let's go make a pass at it. That damn A4 Skyhawk thing I flew with a 9G Commander prop and loaded with 7 dust, you could outran it on foot.
So how fast, like approximately?
Oh, this A4 Skyhawk was a missile. It was so fast. So I flew toward the target, and I must have missed the target by the length of this room, past it, because I said, damn, this plane's fast. He says, yeah, I thought you said you could hit. I can. So we come back around. He said, try it again. Hit it, target dead center.
It's like a needle in a haystack.
Yeah. I was used to shooting things much smaller. Their damn targets look like elephants out there. And oh no, it was probably this size, but it looked so much bigger to me. So I came back around, and he said, try it again, dead center. Try it again, dead center. 5 dead centers in a row. He said, that's okay. Let's go back to the base. I said, am I in trouble? And he goes, no, I'm in trouble. He goes, I said, how are you in trouble? He goes, well, think about this. My command board is going to talk to me. And first of all, I did a horrible thing. I let an enlisted man walk into a jet. And we're okay to build them, but we can't fly them. That's different military. So he said to me, he said, if I don't report, I'm going to report I took an enlisted man out to the training field, and I'm in trouble. But if I don't report that this guy hit 5 out of 5 targets dead center, I'm not going to have a job next morning. So I'm screwed no matter which way I'm going on this. And I said, well, damn. I said, anything I can do to help? He said, just be standing by, because I know they're going to want to talk to you. Well, they didn't want to talk to me. They want to see me in a jet. So they put me back in that A4 Skyhawk. I went out and did 5 more 5 out of 5s. And they're sitting there going, damn, you know, who's this, Davy Crockett now in the jet? So they said, what are we going to do about this? I don't know, but I don't want to be the one that have to tell DC about this.
So what is the difference from the Duster and this jet? Okay, yeah, it goes faster, but the schematics of the wings and how you trained so many years doing that same, and it helped you in this time.
That's just it. They said, your targeting is fine. How are you in air-to-air combat? Oh, I've got a few ideas about that. So we were in this old World War II jet. And here come an F-14 going by. I know something about it because I built the engine. And it went, I mean, it was doing about 1,000 miles an hour, literally. And I said, how about I shoot that F-14 down? How are you going to catch that thing? We do it like this. We climb above the F-14, and then we drop like a hawk. We pick up speed. We overtake the aircraft. We pull up right in its tail, and then we shoot our electronic beam, and it's gone. And the captain was sitting back there going, "You're kidding." "No, watch this." I climbed above it, dropped down, come down, blow that F-14 right out of the sky. He said, "God almighty Mosey, what do you call that maneuver?" "I don't know. I was watching hawks fly out in the field, and I watched them get above their prey and come down on them so fast. And I thought, well, hell, I can do the same with this aircraft." So there's a style of flying out there called the Adair maneuver. And that's where you overtake a faster aircraft with a slower one and shoot it out. So he went back to D.C. and told him that. And they said, "You're kidding."
Implement it.
Yeah. He said, "He's not supposed to do that. You don't think on your own." That's just another problem that we had. We had so many problems back then. It was awful. And I was just saying, you might find out there's some useful skills out in that field out there called enlisted. So they sent me to a thing called NECEP, which they sent me to college so I could get a degree. Then
That's like green to gold, if you guys don't understand. Nowadays, we have something that's called green to gold. If you're enlisted, they'll send you to like a war officer type of school, and you become an officer, and then you can go on the Black Hawks, and you can do things that officers do.
You call it green what?
Green to gold. No, yeah. Green to gold. So the gold is officer, and green is enlisted.
Green. Well, that's odd.
Welcome to 2025.
Yeah, I graduated from college, and I had a BA in communications, big surprise there. And they asked me, "Why didn't you take a scientific field?" "Well, I already know how to do the chemistry and the physics. Why waste my time?" So I became an 01, which was an ensign. And then the strangest thing happened. I went up 5 ranks in 4 years. So they checked to see if I had any female commanding officers. I said, "No, I might be straight, but I didn't do anything like that. I just performed." And they said, "You seem to perform well with female commanders." "Yeah, because they're damn smart. Have you ever talked to one? God almighty, you don't fight it. It's like taking a shower. You just enjoy it." And
well, we had a female commander in 7th Group commanding Green Berets. So imagine that.
Yeah, I had them.
Females are beautifully smart.
I had a Navy.
I'm married to one.
Yeah, I had a Navy commander that was a SEAL, and she. I didn't marry her, but she was already married. But I wish I would have, because she was really neat, and I went up 2 ranks under her, and they asked, "Why did you go up so fast?" "Because I listened to them. I didn't fight it. They're damn smart. They know stuff." And I said, "The chiefs aren't the only ones that know stuff. And it's not gender specific. It's brain specific." I said, "I know when I meet a more intelligent mind, I just sit there and enjoy it. I don't fight it."
So for all the beautiful women in this house, thank you for your smartness. A round of applause for all the women here.
Yeah, really.
Thank you.
Those
Thank you.
female officers were awesome. They were just amazing. So I did well, and today I'm retired now, but I'm an 06. Next rank is Admiral.
Wow.
And I've turned it down because I didn't want, if we go in conflict, I fly a jet much better than I do a desk. So I said, too much politics in admirals. I said, I just want to be a captain. So in a way, I'm like Maverick. He said, yeah, strange things in life, you know. He was supposed to be a 2-star admiral. He was still a captain because he preferred flying. I like flying. I got so good at it, I quit. And they go, why'd you quit? It was becoming boring. You sit in a jet for hours and do nothing. And hell, they're so advanced now, you just talk to them.
Oh, yeah, they're like a fifth of them.
Yeah.
They have so much technologies right now. And it's not only that, it's not only the jets. And I'm sure you have seen other crafts as well. You know, like the TR-3B that I got on over here in Eglin, 7,000 miles in 8 minutes, it got into Puerto Rico.
Yeah, that's I went to see Dr. Emery Smith. He took me over to one of the bases. He said, we're going to let you fly an F-35. An X-35? I said, for God's sake, I don't even know how to start one. And he said, doesn't matter. Principles are the same. So I got this X-35. And sure enough, once I got it started, that thing flew like crazy. And it's...
Yep, Emery got a lot of good friends. He invited me over there, too. He's working on a lot of big projects. He invited me. Hey, JP, let's go fly. I was like, Emery? No, let's go. Emery, let's go, JP. And one day I'm going to have to go, you know, because they have so much things there. And I'm sure you have been there and you have seen the things that they have.
Well, he stuck me in a machine. It was called a dual matrix. And I laid down on this bed, and the nurse was operating it. Then she looks at the screen above me, and she goes, I'll be back. I got to get the doctor. I thought, well, what in the hell is she seeing? So she takes off running to go get the doctor. So Emery comes back in. He looks up at it. I already had a look at it and I know what it was. He said, nurse, say hello to Pithelum, because there's a skeleton laying there, and there's one right over top of me. And the little graph on the thing following the brainwave pattern, here's a set of female brainwaves, and then there's a male brainwave. I have both. It's because Pithelum is still there. She never left. And that brings me to a question one time I asked her. I said, you say your parents are here. They're out by Pluto. That's 4 billion miles. But you say, oh, they'll cover that in just a matter of hours. Well, that's my question. If you get up and leave me, do I turn into a Dorian Gray? And she starts laughing. She says, no, Mom's got a plan for you. And I'm going, your mother. You got parents. At 13.5 billion years old, you got parents. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm going to need to sit down. And, but yeah, there was it was difficult. You have no idea what it's like, y'all. Let me bring it into a perspective real quick. You ever tried to masturbate in front of your mother?
Oh, geez, David.
Think about it. I got this thing in me all the time, 24/7. She ain't going nowhere. She's made that abundantly clear. And I went, oh, God. So I said, now what am I to do? She said, just sit still. You're going to be fine. That's easy for you to say. You're sitting on the inside driving the vehicle. Who navigates and who steers? She said, yeah, that's been a problem. Get in arguments with her. You know what the worst part of it is? Is she's right 99% of the time. I hate that. I was flown up to New York, to New York Stock Exchange. I met this engineer. In the last 6 months, he had cost the company millions of dollars. And so they hired me for a hatchet job. I'm going to fire the man. I said, how long have you been with the company? 28 years. And I'm going to fire you. And you're the chief engineer. Well, Pisslam's throwing a fit, and she says, ask him about his wife. Go on, ask him. And I'm sitting there going, what's that wife got to do with all this? So I turned around, and I just looked at him. I said, how's your wife doing? The man breaks down. Turns out she's dying of breast cancer. The last 6 months, same time he screwed up everything. And I said, oh, my God, that's what the problem is. She goes, duh, yeah. So I told him, I went to the CEO. I said, get the MDs, get his wife, get her in, find out what stage she's at, fix the damn thing. Well, they do. They fix her. She no longer has breast cancer.
Wow.
And in 6 months, he made millions of dollars for the company again. Just like the old days, he's right back to normal. And the CEO said, I told you to fire him. What made you ask about his wife? And I'm looking at him like, what the hell am I going to say? I have a ghost inside me I have to talk to all the time. And she's right most of the time when she tells me these things. She's an alien creature named Pithlam. And, like, yeah, I'm going to say all that. Forget it. I said, lucky guess. He said, well, that lucky guess is going to sign your check and you'll like the bonus on the end of that thing. I did. Didn't have to work anymore. But that's the thing about her. She's so dang smart with people. It reminded me of my commanding officers in the Navy. And I said, you'd make an excellent CEO. And she didn't have a clue what that was. She says, what's a CEO? Cash on delivery? I said, no, not really. Although it could be. But I'm just grateful you're around. She says, for a male human being, you have the rare propensity to listen to a female. I have never encountered that. She goes, that's amazing. A matter of fact, I don't even encounter it in our species. A male that listens to females. God almighty, what a concept. And
it's hard, but we tried.
I tell you, if you survive the ass kicking, it's worth asking. It really is. Boy, you can be humbled real quick.
Well, I love you, baby. If you're here, it's beautiful to be in a relationship that she sees everything before I do, and she's always right. Always right. Even when she's wrong, she's right. I'm like, come on, babe. And it's amazing how when you're married, I've been married almost 19 years with my beautiful wife. She's from Brazil. And we went to a conference together, and I took David with us. I said, David, okay, I'm going to take you back to the hotel room. He's like, okay. So we get in the elevator, and these ETs, and he felt it, were following us in this hotel in Orlando, and they were walking among us. I said, David, did you feel that? He's like, yeah, but I don't mind it.
Yeah, it's it's a humbling event at times because Pislam has put me in my place more than once. She reminded me one time in a very hard way, not everything in the universe runs on a Julius Caesar calendar. Yeah. And then she started explaining timelines to me. And I'm sitting there going, God, how did we even survive to where we have? Wow. And it's amazing, people.
It's amazing, and this is why it's beautiful to talk about the past and present of our experiences. Because for Prithalam, there's no time. It's like eternal, right?
Yeah. Her parents are the same age as the universe. And I'm sitting there I'm having a hard enough time with 100 million years. They're at 100 billion years. And there are, I think she said something interesting. The older a civilization is, the closer it is to the Almighty. Wow. And I said, I didn't know that. She goes, yeah, they relate together. They got more time together. I said, well, where's your parents? They're like Fred and Barney Ziffel, you know. They get along really well. It's Fred and Barney over there. And I went, oh, my God. How do you find them entertaining? Now, I've heard the Lord referred to a lot of things, but I never heard the word entertaining. I thought, now that's different. She says, yeah, learn his sense of humor. Oh, I have. He's got the craziest sense of humor I've ever met. He made me. Look at me. And I said,
okay, everybody, for the first time here, real quick, just 2-3 minutes, Emery Smith. Say hi.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
So we're here with David Adair. We're talking about
Emery.
My brother. How are you, David?
Hey, bro. How's it going?
Y'all good? All good. Yeah. Glad to see you guys on stage.
Is your dinosaurs nearby?
No. I'm actually in travels right now.
Oh, okay.
I don't have the dragons with me.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Hey, so we just called you to say we love you. We're here for you. And yeah, Akuria Mate, brother. We're here on stage making it happen.
No, I love it. I can't wait to hear the rest and see the review and watch the video. I'm sorry I couldn't make it, man. But, the future's, we're always doing something crazy, right, David?
Yeah. I swear to God. It's good seeing you.
Nice seeing you. All right, brother.
Yeah,
I know you're busy. You're doing big things.
Yeah.
So we love you. Everybody, I love you, Emery. Come on.
Love you guys.
All right.
Thanks for your support.
Appreciate it. Thank you. JP out, sir.
And that was nice seeing him. But, yeah, when the nurse walked in and Emery, being Emery, he just goes, hey, I want you to meet Pithalam. She goes, who is that? She goes, you might say it's a close relative of David's. How close? Closer than you want to know.
Whoa.
Sees and hears everything.
Hey, so right now, thank you, David. A round of applause for David Adair.
Thank you.
And a round of applause for Sue and Smarty. Thank you for bringing us here. This is a beautiful event, and this is only going to get bigger. Only going to get bigger, and the way it gets bigger is by us spreading the news. spreading the love and care. Say, hey, brothers and sisters, next year we're going to have an event in Destin, Florida, and we want you to be there to hear the truth and see what disclosure really is. Are you guys ready for that? There's more to come. Let's stand up. Everybody stand up. Let's do that exercise again one more time. I know. You can stay there, sir.
Thank you.
You could do the hand thing, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's lift up our hands again. Let's stretch out again. Breathe in, stretch it out, stretch it out. Oh, yeah, I feel that. Oh, yeah. Oh, wait, my back. Okay, there we go. Bring it down softly, bring it down softly. Breathe in, breathe in, breathe in. My friend Leo Sandoval from Brazil, he taught me a different technique. He's really good in doing this. Breathe in, breathe in, breathe in. Lift up your hands. Breathe in, breathe in. Breathe out. We're going to do one more last time. One last time. Now with this time, think about your loved one. Think about everything that is happiness in your life. Close your eyes. Remember the happiest food you ever ate. The happiest person you ever met. The happiest moment in your life when you got married or when you met a beautiful person that always made you look good. Lift up your hands, lift up your hands. Breathe in, breathe in. Breathe out. Now my favorite part, tell your next door neighbor how beautiful they are today. David, you're beautiful, brother.
Thank you.
I love you.
Likewise.
You are beautiful.
Thank you.
Feel the presence, feel the love. And Akuria Mate. JP out and Adair, David Adair. Out.
Out.